Hey everyone, welcome to Hybrid Budgets. I thought I'd do a quick video because I did notice all my videos are like an hour long, which is pretty ridiculous. But also, I quite like watching like budget videos like in the background when I'm just like trying to chill out, and I find them really calming. But anyway, other people are probably like, oh no, these are ridiculously long. Anyway, I hope you like them anyway, the long ones. But I thought I'd just do a quick short one today. At the end of my May close down June budget, I did some of my savings challenges, but it instigated me and sort of made me look at them, and I was like, oh, actually, there's a few I definitely need to top up a little bit more. And so I just thought I'd go through those now. FYI, the filming on this is going to be a little bit ropey because I've got one of these like bendy stands, so we'll be like changing positions. So I'll try and cut it out, but I just hope you don't get too sick with it. Also, I don't have any like fun saving challenge. All mine are like just like drawy ones, so apologies, this probably isn't that entertaining, but I thought it would be quite useful just to do a bit of an update of where I was up to with it. I've got like a penny saving challenge and some other bits, but I'll show you anyway. But yeah, I haven't got any of like, I don't know, I just find like the ones where you like roll the dice and stuff, I'm like, one, it's a bit risky, like as in if you rolled or over-rolled the amount you couldn't pay. And I'm like, well, if you could pay the maximum amount, why don't you pay the maximum amount? Like, I just struggle with it in my head a bit. So actually what I've done is just like different amounts, and I can just colour them off as and when I've got it. So I'm going to start off with doing the penny savings challenge. She says, opening up the wrong page. Here we go. So if I'm sure most people are aware, but if you're not aware, the penny savings challenge is basically where you start saving a penny and then every day you enhance it by a penny. I'll just see if I can zoom in. So in my binder, I've got a grid, so obviously 1p, 2p, 3p, etc. And it goes all the way up to £3.65, so 365 days in the year. So I think ideally you do this, I presume, at the start of the year, and it basically ends up with £671.61. But I've seen people do it if they've just got any bits of cash lying around and stuff like that. So what I've done is I've just said I'm going to colour coordinate it. So I've got online and in cash, and I've taken all my small change that I found around the house and put it all in a savings jar. I've done the boring bit off camera because no one wants to watch someone count, and I've literally gone through and said, okay, how much have I got of each? So like 50p I've got one, and then 15, 20p's, etc. So yeah, I've done all this offline, but I'll get all these out. There we go. Put that jar out the way for the minute. Just over there so I can re-top it up. And then I also had £2 random pound I found, so I'm going to add those in as well. So the way I'm doing it is if I've got it in cash, I will cross it off in the blue. So first of all, I'm just going to tot up what I have. So I've got £2 plus 101p's, which is £1, plus another 101p's, which is another £1, plus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 2p's. Oh, you know what? I should have done this as like pence. Plus, oh my gosh, this is going to be me trying to figure out how to do this. 2 times 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 times 9, but it's actually 0.02. Oh my gosh, like, I'm good at maths. I'm a bloody engineer. But you know when you're like trying to do it on video, you're like, huh. Yeah, 100, another 1p. So I've got 5, 6, 10p's. So plus 0.6. And 5, 10, 11, 12, 1p's plus 12. Sorry, 5p's. 12 times 0.05. 1p. What have I done here? Times 10. Oh, you know what? I might have to count this one. What have I done in my head? 1p. I'll recount those. 50p. 0.5 plus 5, 10, 15 times 0.2. And then these ones have to count, so I don't know what I've done here. 5, 6, 7 times 10. So I wonder if I've got 70p. But this makes no sense. What have I done? Right, I'm going to count this offline. Shows how my brain works. So that came to 77p. So I obviously thought, oh, 7, 70, and then 5, 6, 7 times 1, like 77. I don't know why I didn't just put 77p on the top. Anyway, like I say, it shows how my brain works. So that in total comes to, I hope you can see that, £10.65. So I'm just going to make a note of that. Fabulous. And then I'm just going to put these all back in the jar for a minute. Put them out of the way. And put those £2 on top. And then that will go into the bank at some point because it's such small, you know, change. I'm not too worried, but more than anything, I think that jar's going to get too full. So if I zoom in here now, like I say, this is going to be always a bit ropey. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to work from the bottom up, just because obviously some of the bigger numbers first. There we go. Zoom that up. And I'll sit down as well while I'm doing this. So, £10.65 in cash. So I'm literally just going to go along and minus these £3.65. That one can go. Then minus £3.64. And then that one leaves £3.36. So that's what I've got in cash currently. And then I've got 2 accounts online which I use to save up. So the online saver does roundups, and then I had an instant access saver, and I think it was roundups. I can't really remember why I started doing that one. I think it was originally going to be my emergency fund, and then I ended up with the one with a better interest rate, and that was just what was left over, and haven't transferred it out yet. But I thought actually I'll just keep that as an online one. So that is £10.70 plus £1.11 equals £11.81. So if I do that minus £3.63. Sorry, it's an engineer's calculator, so I keep on having to change it out of the fractions. So that one can go. And then that's got £8.18 left, minus £3.62. Minus £3.61. And then that leaves 95p. Which is over here. Well, I'll try, and I wonder if I might do it like a number generator, and anything I've got in like my Monzo current account rather than my Nationwide, because my Nationwide one's pretty allocated for all my direct debits. But anything I've got extra over in my Monzo current account, I might try and do like a bit of a daily, or maybe weekly actually, bit of a number generator one. I'm just going to write the number down, and then I can do a summary video of what that is. So I presume there must be one online that you can say, oh, between like 1 and 365, and then whatever the number is, I just transfer that over into like a Monzo account for penny savings. And then I think what I'll do as well is I'll take this to the bank when I get a chance and just put that straight away in, more than anything just to get rid of all this change. Because I don't really use cash all that often, but yeah, this is sort of accrued over time, and then that'd be quite a nice little way that I can track it and also make sure I'm keeping on top of it, because £3.60 this day and age is about a coffee, isn't it? So which is actually criminal, but you know, and that doesn't seem unreasonable like per week to allocate you know, to this, so that'd be good if I can, you know, make headway on that one. So that's my penny savings challenge done. So I'm just going to adjust the chair because I feel really low. There we go. And also lets me zoom out a bit, because I just realised, again, you probably couldn't see. Honestly, I'm so awful at recording stuff. Right, next one is my emergency fund. So I've got two accounts. I've got a First Direct, which I've got £400 in. That one's at a higher percentage interest, and then I've got a Nationwide one, which I've got £499 in. So I've already started filling this in, but what I will do is I'm just going to change the colour of these, partly just so I can track it in a bit more granularity of where everything is where, if that makes sense. So First Direct I'm going to do in blue, and then I'm going to do green for Nationwide. Saying that, on this thing it looks all the same colour anyway. Also, how brummy did I sound there? Right, hopefully you can see that fine. So move that out of the way. What have we got? So £400, 100, 200, 300, 400, so they're fine. And then I'm just going to take these out and do them in green now, just to make it a bit clear where things are sat. So the way I'm running this is every month I transfer £50 into my First Direct one, partly because you set up a standing order and then that's set, so you can't then add anything extra over to it. You need to contact First Direct to do that. I am looking into it, and I potentially might put more in, because my financial game plan basically says do your emergency fund first. And you know what, I have been looking at videos online like TikTok and stuff, and people are like, well, what is the point of like an emergency fund? Like if you budget your stuff accordingly, you shouldn't have emergencies. So like home improvement, for instance, should be like your pot that you budget for, like if your boiler breaks down, or you should have a separate pot for like car maintenance, etc. But I'm like, well, you know, there's also other stuff like the Financial Feminist, who I really follow along a lot. She's like, well, it's, you want 3 months fixed salary, like if you need to get out of a job. And I was like, oh, who needs to, you know, do that? Or like, you know, again, me being a bit daft, I was like, oh, why would you need to, you know, get out of your job? And last year I actually had like a really difficult time at work, and I really reconsidered like working in engineering. It was it's quite difficult, really. It was like working with like a lot of men really got to me, and there was a certain like HR incident, and I've never been so close to quitting engineering, and I was like, I really don't want to do this. And that was the time when I looked at all my finances and I realised I was in 20k worth of debt. And yeah, I was just like, this is why people have an emergency fund, so they can take 3 months, you know, they've got 3 months fixed costs, but they can literally be like, right, I've got 3 months to find another job. And potentially, in my case, I was like, not even an engineering job, I wanted something like completely different. Luckily, like work sorted it out, and you know, I think they realised how bad it got, you know, and they changed projects for me. But yeah, that's, I think, more the reason, like if you lose your job. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna, you know, save up for this. This is why I've got part 1 and part 2. I've got part 1 to be like, okay, this is a month in case, I don't know, it's more like this is the stuff if your car goes wrong, or if you've like the boiler's gone on, stuff like that, that you've got like a little pot first. And then this is the bigger pot in terms of like, okay, I want to like quit my job and I've got like a buffer for 2 or 3 months. So there's pros and cons to it. I'll personally keep an emergency fund. It's at a pretty good percentage rate now. I might transfer it all over to like premium bonds if needs be, if you know it goes at a different percentage rate, but basically we want it easy access. You want to be able to get it if you need to, you know, the next day if you do need it for emergency, save taking out like a payday loan or anything. Anyway, me saying this is going to be a really quick video, and I've just waffled on. Again, that came out very brummy. Well, so sorry, 100, 200, 300, 400 in my First Direct account, so that's fine. And then I've got 419.99, so for the sake of argument, I'm just going to round it up, in my Nationwide. So that is 50, 100, 200, this next one. And sorry, so basically the First Direct one is a standing order, so I do that £50 every month, and then my Nationwide is any extra overpayment, so it wouldn't shock me if that one goes up higher than my First Direct, but I just want to know where each of the accounts are holding. So sorry, 100, 200, 300, 400 and 20. So this is my investments tracker. This is all the investments I've done to date. So this is pre-Jan 24. And I've just got a bit of a post-it here, so I went and reviewed. So again, I set up a direct debit for this, but it's just quite nice to track it. So I do £50 a month, which I've done from January 24. So that's 6 lots of payments now. January, February, March, April, May. No, that's 5 lots of payments. So that comes to £250. And then basically I just looked at my account, I just thought it was of interest. So in total it will be £2,750. And currently the account is standing at 3,000, so therefore it's made £352. I think I've only had the account open for like a year or two, so no, it's doing quite well. So I'm going to keep on doing £50 in that. I know you're meant to do your debt first and your emergency fund, but I just wanted this to tickle along a little bit. I did used to transfer a lot more over, like £250 a month, but I am prioritising my debt first, but I do just want to, like I say, have that standing order in it tickling away. So I'm just going to basically colour that in. So I've got 5 lots of 50, so basically each of these bundles of money is £50. So if I just get that coloured in now, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to add here as that's 50. So I've got to count of each row. And then I know this is like from Jan 24 onwards. Now, my mortgage one is a bit more complicated. So I've got 2 mortgages. I've got one which was the original mortgage I used to buy the house, and I've got a second mortgage that I used to do a like porch extension on the front. So I'm paying off 2. The mortgage 2 is was 15k, and I'm paying that one down. So yeah, what I had done again, I had overpaid on my mortgage when I managed to reduce the fix on it. In fact, I was variable for ages, and it was going up, and it was honestly like causing me anxiety every time I'd see like the Bank of England base rate go up. So I ended up fixing at a set amount that I was like, you know what, if it goes higher than that, I'll do something about it and whatnot. But it was more that I just wanted that fixity. So at one point I fixed at like £1,000, another point I fixed at like £950. So these are just the payments I've put in here, which I'll go through. So as it was going up and down, I just made sure the fix was the same, so I knew what was coming out every month, because I just couldn't deal with it changing from like one month to another. Then I did fix it, and then I kept the payments the same, because I was like, oh, I'll overpay. And now I've reviewed it recently, and I said, actually, again, I really need to look at my debts, my credit card debts, before I start focusing on the mortgage. So yeah, I'll just go through that now. So this is just my yearly overview tracker, where I track everything each month, and it's just like a good average of where I am in the year. So what I've done here is just ignore that for a second. I'll zoom in here. She says, not zooming in very well. So my mortgage one was, I was originally putting in £850, and my mortgage 2, which was the 15k, I was putting in 100, but their minimum payments were actually 704 and £80.90. So this is when it's sort of like the interest rates didn't change. It was like pre-January 24, where they were like every month it was different, and like I say, I was like, I can't deal with this, whereas these ones look actually quite consistent. So yeah, I was setting aside £950 every month for a mortgage, because I was like, you know what, until it reaches that sort of threshold, I'll just overpay it a little bit, and then I just know what I'm dealing with. So therefore that so I did the same for January, February, March. Then I got the fix on my mortgage. So again, I transferred what I was paying. So I did £750 into mortgage 1 and I did £200 into mortgage 2. So I paid off a lot more on my mortgage 2 and I've carried on doing that. The only change now is in June, I've fixed it to essentially what the minimum payment is. I think I'm overpaying ever so slightly. That was just the way I had to change it because they were like, oh, change what your mortgage payment was. Weirdly, they didn't go down to the minimum amount. They just said, oh, +5 or whatnot. So I think I set those. So if that makes any sense. So I set those at +10 and +5. So they're very much what the original mortgage is. I'm not really overpaying much on them. And again, what I've done is just broken it down. So for mortgage 1, I overpaid £145 in January, and for mortgage 2, I overpaid £79.44. Like I said, these were the same for January, February, March. April, I got the fix, and what I did was actually overpaid more on my mortgage 2 and less on my mortgage 1. And then again in June, I've said, well, actually I should be focusing on my debts, not my mortgage, so I'm only overpaying ever so slightly. So I'm going to just take this Post-it and transfer that to my savings challenge. I'm going to zoom out as well. So here we go. And again, I've started, not again, but I just wanted to make it clear which was for which mortgage. So if I can zoom in and make that clear. So again, what I've done is I've set up my challenge and I've basically made it so I've got different icons depending how much I can pay off. So for instance, these ones are at 150 if I can pay off that per month. These ones are at £150, then it's just a door and then it's just a window. But you know, it's like that every little helps. The only thing I haven't done now is I'm overpaying £5, so I might need to like add a little icon in, so maybe, I don't know, just the curtains. So yeah, I'll have a look at that. And then similar, what I've done is I'm going to say blue is mortgage 1 and green is mortgage 2. So I'm just going to add those in now. So for mortgage 1, in January I did £145.93. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? It's because these are at funky numbers. I'm just going to see if £145.93 plus £145.93 plus 10 is £598.13. So for sake of argument, I might just round that up to 600. I know that's probably not the way I should do it, but it's £2 when at least it gives me an idea of what I've paid off. So again, I'm just going to do the biggest denomination first. I really need to get the colouring in felt tips. In fact, I did get them and I did look at my old set, but over time they've like really faded and dried out, so I need to get some new ones. But again, they're so expensive and I might, just for the sake of colouring in a budget binder, I probably shouldn't waste money on it. I tell you what, going on this debt journey has really made me review stuff I used to buy and stuff I've like got today. Oh, it looks so messy. You know, and I now look around like the range and stuff and I'm like, oh my god, I used to just go in and buy whatever, and now I look at it and I'm like, god, did I spend that much on that, you know? Anyway, 150, so that's 300 and that's 600, so that's fine. And then similar with this one, I've got 79.44 plus 79.44 plus 79.44 plus 79.44 plus £118.89 plus £118.89 plus 5, and that is 481. So I think what I'm going to do is do 300 as I did before. £400 and 70. Oh no, I can do 50, 20 and then 10. There we go. And then I think what I'll end up doing, like I said, is just realised my phone is in Monkey. Hopefully that recorded fine. I'm going to do some of the little icons, and I won't do those in the erasable pens. I'll just add to this because, again, month by month now, I'm going to be adding in £10 increments and £5 increments. So I think it'd be good to add in a few £5 so I can cross those off monthly. So yes, that's the mortgage done. Christmas and holiday, so hopefully you can see the full page spread here. So I save these. I don't specifically cash stuff, but I wanted this channel to be inclusive to all, so I use Monzo pots as my envelopes. So with this, I'm just basically, if it was in my envelope or my pot, it just needs to come out of here. So what I've done is holiday should be at £115, so I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so that's 100, and then I've got 2, so I need to review this because this has definitely gone down. I think it's because we put our night stay away, which I think next time we're going to do that on our joint account, and I'll keep this as very much like a savings pot. So what have I got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, which would make 100. I should have really prepped this earlier, apologies. And then 15, so I've got the 10 coloured in, and again I need like a little 5, don't I? So I'm going to do a, oh I don't know, an ice lolly for 5. Watch me do the crappiest ice lolly ever. Okay, that just looks like a tampon, but anyway, £5. You live and learn. Right, and now with Christmas, my goal amount is, or what I've got currently in it is 95. So, and this one, I know I've added more to it, so that's good. So 50, 60, 75, 75, so 85, 95. So yeah, just another 20. So I'm just going to colour in this present here. And this one, yeah, I had a little £5 and dotted in, so I need to do that a bit more. And then finally, the next one I need to do is my debt. So this one should be quite a satisfying one to do. So originally, first of all, I'm going to start with my MBNA 1. My 2, sorry. So originally that was up to 2,230 when I did this graph. This one has now been fully paid down. So just for your guys' benefit, you can go back and watch my debt video and it explains it a bit better. But I had 2 debts with MBNA. MBNA 2 was a money transfer, not a balance transfer. So as a result, it charged me a monthly fee, whereas the MBNA 1 charged me a fee to transfer my money over to the card, but then it was at 0% interest. So the way they pay it off when I pay my minimum payment every month is they were paying down the MBNA 2 first, and then it goes and pays down the MBNA 1. So I checked my May statement, and my May statement I had £799.69 on my MBNA 2, and then I had £1,875.65 on my MBNA 1. I've since transferred over £1,000, or I think it was, I transferred over £500 last month, but it wasn't at the point where the statement was taken. So I've then transferred £1,000 for this month. So actually it's all come down quite a lot. So my MBNA, gosh, that's a difficult one to say quickly, is 2 is now at 0. So I can cross off all this, which is really satisfying. And then my MBNA 1, which hadn't moved for ages because it was paying this one down first, and now it can bill this one, is now coming down, which is really exciting. And what is really daft is not that I had the money before. I was doing up various things on the house and everything, but I just was like not prioritising debt over doing everything else. And I'm like, that's so daft because like this is always hanging over me. So, you know, and like actually when I put my mind to it, like I was saying with like frivolous payments now, I just frivolous purchases, you like get your head in a good mindset where you're like what is this actually costing me? So yeah, anyway, and this is now up to 1,175, so that's 1,050, 175. So for sake of argument, that's there, and then I can cross off all these. And that's the thing, it goes down quick if I actually start to do it. Like, don't get me wrong, I've managed to put a lot of money towards it, partly because my salary was quite good and partly because I was lived away, so they pay quite good for you to live away. But yeah, like, it just shows focusing it on your debt is really good. I'm waffling on again. Mum and Dad, I've transferred over 155, so I'm going to just cross off 150. So Mum and Dad, I've got a separate pot for them because they just want it as a lump sum when I can afford it. I'm literally just doing this one as soon as reasonably practicable. So I've just put, you know, ASAP there. But I'm conscious I do want to pay it off with them. So what I'm doing is anytime I've got like a £10 or £20 spare, I can just chuck it to that pot and that will gradually sort itself out. And then these ones, I had been paying off minimum payments on these, so I can't imagine these ones have gone down too much. Like I say, this one was my first priority, then it was MBNA 2, then it's going to go 3, 4, 5. In my debt video, you'll see actually that these two are swapped. So I'm going to go from avalanching, i.e. go to the highest interest to the lowest interest first, until I get to here, where I'm going to say, actually, rather than paying off the biggest debt, I'm going to pay off the smallest debt first. I'll probably have to do a balance transfer on this one because the promotional offer will end. But that then means I can not take my time paying this off, but pay it off without it accruing so much interest. But yeah, watch my debt payment video. Again, disclaimer, it is about an hour long, but you don't need to watch it all, but it just might be interesting to have a look at that. So Mum and Dad is done. MBNA 1 and 2 is done. Tesco's is now at 4,519. So 4,000, 100, 200, 300, 400, £500 and 19. So again, I'm just going to cross that. Like I said, so that's not gone down too much. I'm literally only paying, I think, £50 a month off on this. Not even. I think it's like £40. So that's like a minimum payment on that one. Similar with Tesco 2. So that's at 2,700. 2,000, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, £700, 30. So again, that's minimum. And Virgin Pink as well is at the minimum payment. I'm just checking, you can definitely see. So Virgin Pink is 6,140. So there's 6,145. So again, I'm just going to literally cross off one there. So I'm not really getting that one down as quick as I thought I would be. But again, it's because I'm doing it in priority. I'm paying off all this. Then I'll work on this one, then this one, then finally this one, and then this one as and when I can do it. So yeah, that is now everything in terms of tracking wise, all up to date. I hope you enjoyed that video. Like I say, it was a lot more short and sweet, but I'd love to know what saving challenges you guys do. Like I say, I'm not really into like the dice rolly ones. I just think if you can already afford that amount to go to a savings challenge, why wouldn't you pay it? But I am up for any like other nifty ones. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed that, and hopefully everyone who is budgeting is having a good month. So bye all, happy budgeting.